Assalamu alaikum and welcome to tonight's episode of Talking Point. I'm your host Syed Niaz Ahmed. Well, usually weather of the year and good old days are innocent topics. People don't disagree and they have an interesting and useful discussion. Today our topic is weather of the year and how it is changing our lives. In our studios again we have a very distinguished guest, Dr. Kanan Purkayastha. He is a scientist, a scientific advisor to the British government and a lecturer, a writer, and he usually goes around lecturing at important universities in Europe. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
How are you? Well, they say that 2024 was a year of extreme weather, including heat waves, droughts, wildfires, floods, and a storm. The events were caused by climate change. And now I'm going to request our distinguished guest today to explain what is climate change. We can see it, but why don't we understand it? Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your question. Actually, when we say climate change, it's basically related to the greenhouse gas emissions and its effect in our atmosphere.
Right.
And that relates, and that can give us the weather pattern at the end. But if we look at the 2024, and if we go back to our European Union, that Copernicus Climate Service, that we call this C3C, actually Copernicus Climate Change Service, and they have reported this January that the last year the average Earth surface temperature is 1.6 degree centigrade, which is above 0.1 degree from the Paris Climate Accord that they said.
That 0.1 can cause all this havoc.
That's it. That's zero. That means we have got a one, instead of 1.5, we've got 1.6. Now, if we relate this temperature change, the global surface temperature change, with the emission of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, then we'll be able to see that in 2023 we have got roughly 422 parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but this month, it's according to my data that I have, the 23rd of January 2025, we have got 427 parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Now, these figures are very
all over the world.
All over the world. So this figure is very tiny, but if you look at the meaning of those figures, you know, parts per million, that means 1 million of all the molecule in atmosphere, there is 427 carbon dioxide molecule in the atmosphere. So it is, if you multiply, it will be a big figure, you know. Similarly the case in case of temperature, when you look at only 0.1, but that 0.1 is a relative figure, because when we calculate the global average surface temperature, we actually compare the temperature with the baseline year, and that baseline year is 1850 to 1900. That, so comparison with that year, the temperature rise. Now, in addition to that, in addition to this temperature change, there are a lot of phenomena going on in this atmosphere, you know, at this moment. The one is some natural causes, like Earth is rotating from west to east, and that rotation on its own axis, we know that this is the natural things. The air current is also rotating, And that rotational phenomena in North Pole, in northern hemisphere, it is like, say, if you say from west to east, and southern hemisphere it is east to west. And that phenomena, this natural phenomena, is called a Coriolis effect. It's a well-known factor, and that rotation, the Earth's rotation, is creating a jet stream in the atmosphere. We don't feel that jet stream, but a jet stream is approximately 30,000 feet from the surface of from the surface. 30,000 feet is more or less 5 miles above.
Right.
And that jet stream is actually the high speed of air current that is moving, and that jet stream is actually controlling the weather pattern in the whole world.
Right.
And that jet stream, when you look back the last 30 years of data, we can see it is correlating with the Earth's surface temperature, because Earth's surface temperature is interfering with this natural jet stream, and it is causing some of the atmospheric block in the atmosphere.
Right. So where is this coming from, jet stream?
Jet stream is from the Earth's own air movement, and air movement is
this
going
rotation
on.
is causing it.
Yeah, that is the circulation is causing, and we have got climate model, which called general circulation model, that take account of this, but still it can't completely predict the behavior of the jet stream, because jet stream becoming some kind of, you can consider it a highway in this atmosphere. And if you look at the highway, sometimes you can see the traffic. It's creating a problem with the flow of the car, and the similar sort of things happening in the atmosphere. And sometimes people consider it as a highway of air in the atmosphere, and that is the jet stream. And jet stream, we have noticed, it is taking sometimes different sort of shapes, and people are saying it's an omega block, because it is like an omega shape of the jet stream. And these are all unpredictable behavior in the atmosphere, and it is also influencing by this global warming and the climate change.
Well, everything around the Earth is affected by the Earth's gravitational pull.
Yeah.
Does it have an effect on the jet stream?
Yes, it has an effect on jet stream, but definitely it has an effect on jet stream. But we know that pattern, that standard pattern, we know, because it is more or less like, so if we are a human being, as a human being, if we become very, very rich or something like that, or some of the rich people, maybe they're doing some sort of abusive war.
Right.
But in jet stream, if it is become high speedy, good. If it is not speedy, if it become less, slow down, then it creates problem, all sort of problem in the atmosphere. And that slowdown of the jet stream is created by the global warming. And that is the current interpretation, that it is causing because of this global warming, because the Arctic sea ice is disappearing gradually. So as a result of that, what happened, there is a lot of reflection of sunlight in the past. When there is a lot of ice in the Arctic, there is a lot of reflection of sunlight from the Arctic, but now the less reflection from the ground. As a result, ground is absorbing that sunlight, and because the ground is absorbing the sunlight, so ground is warming. So that means whatever water in the Arctic and in the ocean, they are absorbing the temperature, and as a result of that, that absorption is causing the global warming quickly, and that happened very recently in in USA, in the Pacific Ocean, where there is the ocean temperature rises, and that caused localized problems, and also jet stream coming, and it slowed down, and because it slowed down there, it caused a lot of problem in the turbulence in the atmosphere and localized localized speed, and also drought. Because if it slow down, then a lot of you can see, there's moisture in the atmosphere, and some of the areas can accumulate. But if there is no rainfall, that is happened in Los Angeles, because there is no rainfall since May, it becomes dry. So it's a same sort of situation. So jet stream, which is very, very unpredictable at this moment.
Is there any system or any technology to control the speed of jet stream?
It is very difficult, rather, because when we think about geoengineering, this is always, people are thinking about spreading some sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere, and so that sulfur dioxide cloud can reflect sunlight, and sunlight should not come, but people all the time discussing about it. Paul Crutzen, who received Nobel Prize in 1993 in chemistry, atmospheric chemistry, he proposes this geoengineering in 2007 in Cambridge University, and at that meeting I was there. I was sitting and then listening this Crutzen's lecture and his proposal. But there are a lot of people, they have got a doubt about it. They don't know. But obviously, because if you do the geoengineering in the atmosphere, what will happen, its effect or impact later on to our biodiversity, we don't know. So as a result of that, people did not touch, they did not follow that path yet, because there is a technology in place. Rather, people are going back to see how they can predict the behavior of jet stream, so that they can inform.
Now, but if you have the technology to cause artificial rain, one should have the technology to stop the rain.
There are technology available. I don't know why Los Angeles did not apply those technology. There is a technology that Japanese they use. The technology is, there is a fire sensor. Different places, you have got a lot of houses, high, valuable houses, wooden houses, and there are a lot of fire sensor. And where there is any little bit fire, the fire's alarm will start. Because fire sensor, fire. As soon as fire alarm start, there are a lot of sprinkler around that area.
They will start
working, spreading water. So this sort of mitigation or adaptation type of technology is available around the world, but I don't know why they did not use it. So there are things available to protect, but not to completely stop, because this sort of the reason behind fire is manifold. It is not just like just stream and other thing. There is other issue. In 2023 in Los Angeles, there was a wet weather there in 2023, and because of this wet weather, there are a lot of tree grows there. So they become fuel in 2024, end of the 2024 and beginning of 2025.
Because no rains.
No rain. So, but it was a lot of wet weather there, so it becomes a fuel. So that is one of the factors as well, for this unpredictable situation, and that's the reason they say it's a compound climate disaster. This sort of thing, CCD, they call it now. It's a combination of several things. It is not possible to control jet stream, because jet stream is related to the Earth rotation, and we don't know if we plan to slow down the Earth rotations from the outside, space. We don't know. There are technology available to slow down the mobility of the planetary scale, but there is no,
But has it been tried?
Huh?
Has it been tried? You said technology is available.
No. But theoretically, these are all theoretical. Theoretically, it is possible to slow down the gravitational force. It is theoretically possible, but practically, there is no, the technology in hand to apply those theoretical, understanding, and there is no plan like that, because we don't know.
All this is happening in our galaxy.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, because we know our galaxy more, and that is the reason we are always trying to find out alternative place to live.
Right.
That is already Stephen Hawking gave warning before, saying that we have to find out the alternative place to live, because Earth, we might destroy this Earth, because of our, activities. And that's the reason you find in 2025 there are a lot of activities going on in space, and try to find out how we can live in the moon. So already SpaceX and several other private sector organizations, they are doing a lot of activities, sending rocket to the space, the moon this year, 2025. There is a plan to send SpaceX.
What about underwater?
Yeah, underwater. That is another thing, and there are a lot of activities going on already. Lot of activities, but all those underwater activities are like a defense initiative at this moment. There are a lot of activities going on surrounding UK as well. But at this moment, people are focused on moon, because SpaceX, they are sending. India sending, China, Russia sent it before, and a lot of private sector, they are much more in advance than NASA even, So a lot of rockets going to space. This Elon Musk, SpaceX, they are using rocket to install a lot of satellite in space, so that you can get internet from the satellite directly. So where there is no internet in the earth, so that they can cover all areas. So these are activities going on at this moment. There are a lot of design going on how we can live in moon inside, because moon's gravity is 1/6 of the earth gravity.
Right.
So they are taking account of that how they can manage these gravitational things, 1/6. So they have a design beneath the ground of the moon.
We will be flying literally.
Yes, that is we are thinking. We are the scientists around the world, and a lot of business people. They are thinking alternative home to build outside Earth. Because they are thinking probably Earth will not survive long times.
Right.
Because of human activities and all other things.
Will it be worth it?
It is just to. It is.
Or it's just a poetical idea?
Yeah, it is just an idea.
Going to the moon.
Yeah, it is just an idea, but they are already trying. They are already trying, because they are trying to control two things in moon. One is the gravitation, to make it an Earth gravitation, and also
okay, sir. We have to come back to our Earth and leave the moon shining in the sky for the time being, and we need to take a break. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us, and we hope that you are enjoying our discussion on space and jet stream, and a possible having a flat or apartment or a mansion on the moon. Well, perhaps not in our life, but one day people will go. Okay, we'll come back again to discuss more aspects of space travel. Thank you. Welcome back. Just before the break, we were talking to our distinguished guest today about the changes in weather and the possible calamities that we have already faced and we are going to face in 2025. As countries unveil new climate targets, the world's most powerful country has elected a new president. And a potentially game-changing ruling for future climate lawsuits unfolds. 2025 is set to be a big year for climate and nature. What do you think so?
Yes, I also think so, you know, because climate and nature, when you say nature, it's the biodiversity of the nature it comes first, you know. But we also need to think about not only biodiversity, also other components like terrain, like landscape. These are all affect climate change, you know, because landscape
they affect interchangeably, isn't it?
Yes.
Climate affects terrain, terrain affects climate.
Yes. Climate affect terrain, terrain affect climate, and terrain affect jet stream as well, because when jet stream moving from one place to another, our terrain has an impact on it, you know, the movement when the jet stream taking different shapes and things.
Sorry to say, but and the role of human beings, because they are changing the terrain.
Yes, there is other things, you know, because of the way of agricultural, you know, practice and other things, use of fertilizer, or not using fertilizer, going for alternative food and other things. You know, the human activity also play a part in you know, climate change mitigation and adaptation, and that is the reason one of the important things came from COP29 that happened in Baku, Azerbaijan. In 2024 is that every country should come up with their nationally determined contribution, and that is the next month is a deadline. They should come up with their nationally determined contribution for this climate change. That means how much they can, you know, allow the emission reduction, you know, because
slashing it.
Yeah, because the United Nations can't force government, but people they need to they encourage different government to come up with their own nationally determined contribution. Now the problem of nationally determined contribution is you set up nationally determined contribution on the one hand, but on the other hand you are giving subsidy to the fossil fuel industries.
Sure.
So one is contradicting with another. So in COP29 there is a decision that they have to combine the nationally determined contribution with a national adaptation plan. So that should you know one should corroborate with another, so that they can do some sort of integrated, you know, climate management system in place all over the world. You know, that is a good, you know. But always, I remember Al Gore said in 2020, he said, "We are always looking lab in wrong places." He said like that, and then the reason he said that the Azerbaijan is one of the their main export earning is from fossil fuel. That is their main export earning. They have no other export earning. So that's the reason he mentioned this. So as a result of that, this year, 2025, we are going to Brazil, and then after that, not yet decided. You know, only the country can come up with, you know, or get the chance to organize COP meeting if they are committed to fossil fuel reduction, you know, that sort of things. So that is one of the things, you know. And money wise, you know, they ask for a lot of money in COP29, but they did not get that. In COP29, they asked for $1.3 trillion for the mitigation and adaptation for the developing world, but they get 300 billion money. This is only the commitment, but there is other issue, because a lot of rich countries, they come back saying that China and this Gulf region, they are now more or less developed countries, and they are also emitting a lot of things they should contribute.
Right.
But their contribution remain as a voluntary contributions. So that is another,
That has to be applied. So.
Yeah.
But this the arrival of Mr. Trump on the scene and his decision to walk out and come out of this Paris Accord, how will it impact the whole thing?
That will have an impact on this that credit, that the climate credit, that because America is one of the big donor for this climate fund, and that is not that will have an effect. But all over the world, people are saying, even European Union or European EU President and all over the world, they are thinking it is only for 4 years. After 4 years, that admission will go, and his declaration can't stop all the sustainable agenda that is going on around the world. Even in UK, we have contributed a lot of things for wind power, solar power, and other things. This will not stop. Rather, this will go ahead. All other countries will do their business.
Sorry to take you from there. This question of electric vehicles on our roads, is this going to help the cause of environmental problems? The emissions will be less.
That electric car.
Electric cars and electric vehicles.
Okay, there is the issue there, because how this electric car, what output is coming, that is useful. That means you are using electric car, electric energy, and then you are running your car. But there are
no emissions.
Yeah, there is no emissions, emission reductions, and that is contributing. But we need to find out how much we are using the energy for installing those electric car. There is the issue there. There is a question still there. There is a technological issue there. But still, it is contributing factor. I have seen just several months ago in France. I was in Nice, France. All those all those buses there, they are all running by an electric, solar, and all sorts of things. So there is a positive, negative side, but positive side is much bigger than the negative side. But still work in progress, so that the technology can be developed to installation side of the things. But what it is giving us, the car and other things, that is positive.
But don't we need fossil fuel to produce electricity? It's not always coming from solar.
Yeah, that is not only solar. There are other alternative technology people are thinking, and they have already started doing some. One is the hydrogen, hydrogen power, hydrogen energy, and hydrogen they are getting hydrogen from splitting just water. You are splitting water, you will get hydrogen and oxygen, and now using this hydrogen to serve your energy. So at this moment, it is in a, I can say, it's a pilot program going on, and there are big report published already. Guardian also published a report about it. But that is one of the very promising technology, where you can use water, just water electrolysis, and it will give you the hydrogen. you know.
It would give you the push to move vehicles.
Yes, it can be used, you know. And
They've been using hydroelectricity, if you remember.
Yes.
In old days, probably they still do, they used to run mills.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
to crush
using
grains.
using the water
Yes.
force, you know, even it's available in
the Persian wheel
yeah.
system.
So these are the things, but still, you know, there are some energy use behind these sort of things. How we will run this wheel,
right.
you know. So there are some energy use there, but obviously. These are some of the alternative technology. It looks like primitive, but it will come, you know, gradually, if we really want to care about the climate change and the behavior of the atmosphere. If we want to control some of the technology, instead of going for a bigger project that I was talking before about the rotation of the earth,
yeah.
you know, rather we need to think a lot of local, you know, issues and local technology, and also use our local people, their knowledge and understanding. I have written a lot of things about it, you know, how we can use the indigenous, their knowledge to mitigate the climate change, you know. So I have written these sort of things, how they use a lot of things. They don't try to, you know, destroy trees and other things, you know. We are going and destroying trees in Amazon and other places.
We need new housing, social housing, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are a lot of things going on around the world like that, you know. And COP30 also very important to, you know, even though some countries will not participate or they don't want, but COP30, they are going forward. They want, you know.
If it is for the survival of humanity, if it is for the benefit of this world, then everybody should participate.
Yes, that's the thing actually, and that's the reason we are doing a lot of work in artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence also coming forward to help the climate change. And one of the things that will happen in 2025, that will happen, how we can use artificial intelligence technology to accurately predict climate change in local scale. Because we can say a lot of things in global scale, but we have got a problem in local scale. And local scale, that smaller scale, we need more precision, we need more accuracy. And in order to get this, artificial intelligence can play a big part, because artificial intelligence, what they are trying to do, they are trying to use artificial neural network technique to use in the artificial intelligence. And when we say artificial neural network technique, they are thinking about human basically, and human brain, where human brain has got 86 billion neuron, and that 86 billion neuron in our brain is connected with 100 trillion. There is a connection there. And now artificial intelligence scientists, computer scientists, they are trying to develop the artificial intelligence on the basis of those neural network, and trying to see whether their artificial neural network can provide us some reasoning just like human reasoning. So some scientists in Mexico and some other places, there is question about what do you mean by reasoning. We have to define reasoning first, then a lot of philosophers get involved to explain that what this reasoning means. You know, it is the philosophical things, and so that's the reason science and philosophy need to work very, very, very closely, and that is happening in 2025. There are a lot of organizations, even in Oxford. We are, because I'm also one of the men in Oxford University Philosophical Society. I'm executive member there, and we are thinking about how scientists and philosophers combinedly can help science policymaker for this artificial neural network technology, you know. And these are all based on our human brain, and they have done some pilot things. They are using ANN, artificial neural network, in artificial intelligence, and predicting the climate model. They are predicting a larger scale, but we are much more interested about smaller scale, because what will happen in London, what will happen in Bangladesh, as a country, this small country, what will happen there in weather patterns, and that requires smaller scale predictive modeling, so that a government can manage and then adapt all those problems in a local.
We have the ability, human beings, to really go all out for artificial intelligence, or are we right now doing on piecemeal basis here and there, and just a bit here and there, a bit there?
No, at this moment we are not. We are doing like a targeted approach going on. One is this, say climate model related. Other is drug discovery related artificial intelligence going on. Other things going on in artificial intelligence in government offices. In my office,
right.
I'm still holding office in government office, where I have got an artificial intelligence in my laptop, and that is, her name is Elisa.
Yeah.
And Elisa is sitting inside my laptops, and Elisa can answer a lot of people, a lot of questions, and when Elisa can't, Elisa come back to me, sending me a question, hello Dr. Kanon, can you help me, this sort of thing. So artificial intelligence is working in that way, and drug discovery, artificial intelligence become very, very useful, because before going to this laboratory and to spend a lot of money to build some sort of drug, artificial intelligence can look into the chemical structures, thousand chemical structures, and they can predict the behavior of those chemicals, that if A react with B, whether it will give C that I want. So this sort of thing, artificial intelligence can combine million A, million B in a second, and giving million C, and telling us which one will be more effective for a particular disease. So there artificial intelligence becoming useful, and already this Google AlphaMind, they have already predicted the all available protein structure. They have predicted already in 2020, and that's the reason they get a Nobel Prize in 2024 about this, for predicting everything. So this is the contribution of the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is playing another big part for people who are disabled. That is another thing going on, and it's a
They have disabilities.
Yeah, Neuralink, I think. It's a Neuralink. It's a Elon Musk's project, the Neuralink, where human and computer is jointly working. So somebody is disabled, so can't move cursor in a computer to work. They're using artificial intelligence. They're using a chip, small chips, and then this chip can read that person's mind, what person is thinking, and in that way, when this man is looking at this computer cursor can move. And that is a Neuralink things that is coming this year.
Has this been tried, this chip in the brain?
Yes, it has been tried already.
This is not a chip from McDonald's.
No, not that McDonald's. And that is already tried in USA, and there is a report also published in New Scientist here in UK. So that is another thing coming in 2025 as well. There are a lot of disabled people who can't use computer. They can use computer, because it's just looking at, and you are thinking. The person is thinking, and chip can recognize that, and that way, the way more or less the way Stephen Hawking worked in a computer.
Right.
He's just looking at his eye, movement of the eye, and everything. Cursor is moving, choosing word, writing his lecture, and saying to us, "Do you hear me?" I have listened to many his lecture face to face, and there is the same way, the technique is coming for the general people as well. And 2025.
It's not his voice that you hear. is the mechanical voice, is it?
Mechanical voice, yeah, completely mechanical voice, you know, his voice.
Are we going, without realizing, towards the mythical thing about Frankenstein's monster? Will we be controlled by computers and we lose our options?
That is one of the things. That is one of my concluding remark when I wrote an essay a couple of weeks ago for the Daily Sun. I wrote an essay. Concluding remark was that while we embrace, I can read you,
yeah,
while we embrace scientific progress, we should also make moral progress a necessity. You know, that I said, that because scientific progress, you know, in effect, it can increase the human power, and that can be abusive, that human power. So some sort of check and balance must be in place, you know, the check and balance. So, and that's the reason is science policy maker need to work together with scientists and philosopher as well, because I also mentioned in another article published just about weeks ago that we also should remember that AI that we are thinking, that using it, but AI, we can't trust AI. It cannot be trusted to write the truth about its own future. AI cannot be trusted to write the truth about its own future.
True.
You know, it should not be trusted, you know. So we need to think about this as well, you know. We always need to think about how technology can help the civilization, human, you know, civilizations, and we need to go in that way. Okay, drug discovery, that is fine, you know, somebody can move their limbs, so somebody can move their cursor, they can use AI technology to build, you know. So, and using the GPT-5 is coming, where they're trying to use the human reasoning, because to use the GPT-5 courtroom in UK, courtroom, they have already started using AI technology, because AI can go to 1,000 documents within a second and to find out some corroborative evidence for the court.
We talk about AI and its uses, but aren't we scared of AI's abuses?
Yes, that is also, you know, that is also on the table, and that's the reason the UK at this moment, they are looking at European Union AI Act at this moment and trying to not to transpose completely, rather the UK is writing, our government is writing their own AI Act first of all, because there is no act at this moment.
Very briefly, we are almost at the end of our program. What are the predictions for 2025 for climate change?
Yeah, main thing is...
We are only in January now.
Yeah, we are only in January. We'll see a lot of extreme weather event. We'll see, because we can see from satellite image and other sources, we can see there are a lot of atmospheric block in the atmosphere. In 30,000 feet from the ground, we see several atmospheric block going on, and that block, sometimes they say omega block. It's like an omega shape. That's the reason they say omega block, you know. So different omega block, and that block is actually overlapping. Instead of jet stream going straight,
right,
it is slowing down everything in different location. So some location you will get a lot of rain, some location you will not get rain at all, and also El Nino event sometimes suddenly become La Nina event. That means the wind will move, instead of west to east, suddenly coming out from east to west. So warming weather coming here, or cold weather going there. So all sort of abrupt weather event we'll see in this year. And this year also, I mentioned you about quantum mechanics.
Yes, and that the 2025 is the centenary year of that. On that note, we will have to conclude this program.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming along and sharing your very informative and deep knowledge about how the climate is changing. And we hope that, and we hope our viewers and listeners and everywhere in the world will enjoy a better 2025 than what was the last year. Thank you for watching us. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we have. Thank you.